One night in October, a single explosion cut off Russia's northern military lifeline and sent shock waves through Putin's strongest stronghold. St. Petersburg, the city where Vladimir Putin was born and raised, has long been more than just a hometown. It is Russia's industrial heart, its naval power center, and a symbol of imperial ambition stretching back to the Tsars. From grand palaces lining the Neva River to the shipyards producing tanks and artillery, this city has always been at the center of Russia's power. And yet, on that fateful night, its lifeblood, the railway that supplies its elite forces, was suddenly severed. To understand why this attack was so devastating, we need to look at the railway line itself. Stretching 280 kilometers, this corridor connects St. Petersburg to the front lines in Ukraine and occupied territories. Every day, it transports military cargo, spare parts, ammunition, and personnel. At the northern end sits St. Petersburg, producing and repairing the tanks, artillery, and equipment that Russia relies on to project power. Nearby Kronstadt houses the Baltic Fleet headquarters, making the city both an industrial hub and a naval bastion. The southern end connects to strategic units, including the 76th Guards Airborne Division in Pskov, elite soldiers who serve as Russia's rapid response and shock troops. Without this line, the machinery of war slows to a crawl. The October 20th attack did just that. Ukrainian intelligence reports confirmed that the explosion caused severe damage to tracks and set part of a freight train carrying military cargo on fire. Rail traffic came to a complete halt. Suddenly, the elite units in Pskov were stuck. They could no longer be resupplied, neither to defend against NATO forces near Estonia and Latvia, nor to reinforce troops in Ukraine. The northern flank, once secure, became a vulnerability. The impact didn't stop at the military front lines. St. Petersburg's economy, dependent on this line for civilian cargo, faced delays, higher costs, and logistical chaos. Kaliningrad, isolated and reliant on supply routes through the north, was further threatened. This attack didn't happen in isolation. It followed a series of preparatory operations that exposed Russia's blind spots. On October 7th, a smaller explosion on the Stroganovo-Mishinskaya line tested the defenses, temporarily halting traffic and proving that partisans could infiltrate sensitive infrastructure. Earlier, in May 2023, 2 military trains in Bryansk were sabotaged within 24 hours. The Bryansk strikes demonstrated that Russian internal logistics were vulnerable and that the FSB could not adequately protect these arteries. Then in August 2023, a small drone destroyed a Tu-22M3 bomber at the Salt Sea II base near St. Petersburg, showing that even billion-dollar air defense systems could be bypassed. These events laid the groundwork for the October 20th operation, a combination of logistical precision and psychological impact. The attack itself was no random act. Evidence suggests that spotters with real-time knowledge of train movements and advanced explosives were involved. The freight train carrying ammunition and military equipment burned, ensuring that vital resources never reached the front lines. The Kremlin's immediate reaction was revealing. Mobile internet was cut off in the area, a desperate attempt to hide the disaster from both the public and the world. Citizens of St. Petersburg, home to elite units and Russia's most powerful industrial centers, saw that their state could not protect them. The war, once portrayed as distant, had reached their doorstep. The consequences are both immediate and long-term. Militarily, elite forces face critical shortages. Logistics must be rerouted to slower, less efficient lines, delaying ammunition, fuel, and reinforcements. Psychological pressure on both soldiers and civilians is immense. The illusion of state control, the promise of safety and stability, is shattered. Economically, the repeated attacks force continuous repairs, increased insurance costs for civilian cargo, and higher transportation expenses. The Russian state is trapped in a cycle of damage and repair it cannot break. This is a new kind of warfare. It is not just about destruction. It is about paralysis. By striking the northern corridor twice within 14 days, Ukrainian forces have demonstrated not only military skill but strategic genius. They expose the vulnerability of the FSB, Russia's feared security agency, and showed that even the Kremlin's inner sanctum is not immune. Psychological warfare has reached its peak. Putin's hometown, the city meant to symbolize strength and control, has been forced into chaos. The lessons are clear. When a single railway can bring elite troops to a halt, disrupt an entire region, and shatter the perception of control, the implications extend far beyond Ukraine.